What's up, guys? Welcome back to another EVE Online video. This is going to be going over my Nergal bit. This is a precursor assault frigate that I use mainly for rally points and null, and it's also really good at taking out explorer newts or smaller ship newts, or even it might come in for just normal defense, whatever. It's pretty good little ship here, and I'll put the it in the description and all that. I don't run a clone with it, just because it's kind of a you know, a down and dirty kind of, fast assault ship. So just going over the fit right now, we'll start with the rigs here. I use a small capacitor control unit just because I like having more capacitor, and then a processor overclocking. This is so that we can actually be within range. We're gonna be using the light Disintegrator II. We're gonna be loading Mystic S for our long range and Occult S for our short range. We're running a small energy Neutralizer 2, which is helpful in some instances. For our mid slots, I'm running a 5MN Microwarpdrive II, and then a Cap Recharger 2, and then I'm also running a F90 compact sensor booster, and I'll carry all three of the scripts with me usually. And then we have the Assault Damage Control 2. We'll pop this usually on cooldown. We usually don't need it too bad unless we're fighting basically control like towers or something that's in rally points at the beginning. But I'll usually just pop this on cooldown whenever it's ready to go, just to help the armor repair out. And then we're running the two Entropic radiation sinks, and then I'm running a small armor repair 2. Now, as you can see the damage here, this is for my skills. This is showing 296 HP on the Alpha Strike, and what I'll do is I'm gonna run a rally point here so you guys can kind of see how this scales up. But if you're on like a battleship or something at the end of a rally point, your damage here can go up to over 1,000. So the number to watch while I'm running is going to be this one right here. I'll just kind of move this off screen a little bit so we can see a little bit more of what I'm doing. What I usually do is warp 0 on these rally points, and so what I'll do is once I land on grid, I'm going to go for the towers first, and then I'm going to go ahead and actually have my armor repair on, because they're gonna blow through my shields pretty quick. We'll go in orbit. I am gonna go ahead and get the drones out, and then start working on these guys. Once we get close to having no shields, then I'll turn on the assault damage control. Most likely, this first wave is super important to get down, so we want to kind of like focus as much as we can on that. Right there at the end of shield, so we get assault damage control on. I'm gonna start orbiting this this structure here, and our next goal is to take down all the destroyers, towers, destroyers, and then you're gonna just work your way down. I'm not gonna split targets. I'm gonna have my drones on the same target as the Disintegrator. This will allow potentially my armor repair to kind of keep up with what we're doing. Just getting this damage off the field. Go and grab these guys up. And as you'll notice here, since we got those destroyers down, the longer I have the Disintegrator on this cruiser, you'll see every cycle this damage will go up, and this will go all the way up to 1,000. So it's really important just to kind of keep that Disintegrator on target until that target is dead. You'll see it will go up again, 400. It slows down a little bit once we're doing it like this, but it's it's not the fastest thing to run a rally point with. But really, what I'm doing with this is I'm like running rat sites, and then kind of just waiting for like explorer newts to come in so I can mess with them. So really, it's kind of you can run dens as well. Now what I'm gonna do is these guys are kind of far off, so I am gonna go and every time you need to move to a new group, I always just cycle the Microwarpdrive once after I set orbit, and that'll allow me to kind of get in range for my Disintegrator. I usually save the assault damage control for the bigger, meatier portions of the waves. So we're still on cooldown right now, which is fine. By the time we get these two targets down, it'll generally be good to go. About to tick up to over 400 again, 415. And then once I get around that on the target, once I get into like hull, I'll start, you know, switching over. We're gonna go and orbit him. We're close enough. About 25. We're gonna have to bring him in. Go and cycle the warp drive once just to get close. Once we see 17K, which is what I have for optimal range, we can start putting him on target. And then once the wave is done, you're just going to be repositioning and starting all over again. Pretty simple. And for the dyers and stuff that are near the end of the rally points, I usually save those for last. I'll kill everything else and like save all the dyers because they usually require a full, you know, ticking up quite a bit on the disintegrator to get them down. So I just try to eliminate as much damage off the field as possible. And then the same for the battleship. The battleship will just take a little bit longer. So I save them for last, usually. Cycle those warp drive again, just get back down there, start working on these frigates here. You could reorbit every target as well. Normally we'd use a assault damage control here, but we're got 3 targets left in the wave, so we're just gonna save it. I'm gonna orbit this cruiser, but I'm gonna put Disintegrator on that one, so I don't have to, you know, reassign orbit so much. But it's pretty cool, you know, this little assault frigate doing pretty well. Just kind of hang out in Null. It's one of my favorite assault frigates. Go ahead and switch our orbit since that guy's almost dead, and then we'll also go ahead and switch drones. We're still in range too, so we're still doing good. Waiting for our armor repair to catch up a little bit, which means we'll probably on this next wave have to assault damage control just to kind of like stay above water a little bit. It's doing all right though. Take frigates. We'll see how we're about to tick up again. So when your capacitor gets low like this, you can just turn off the you can also turn off the center booster, because most of the time we're sig tanking, you know, at that full speed anyway. We'll start working on this battle cruiser here. You can also nuke too if you need to, but we don't really need to right now. See, our damage control is doing all right. And then this Dyer guy, he's got a web on us, so I'm gonna go and put a neutralizer on him. It probably won't nuke him out to kill it, but might as well, right? Because going that slow is actually hurting our sig tank a little bit. Go and get on this battle cruiser with the drones. Gonna focus down on this death dealer. We're gonna go in damage control here. This will give us a few seconds to kind of just, you know, breathe a little bit. Get this other death dealer targeted up. We're just ticking up now. Usually around 400 or so alpha strike is good enough to kill a lot of these guys. So a couple more ticks on this target and we'll have him down. And we're gonna go after this guy that's E-warring us right now, just to get him off the field, just so we can get that speed back up. That'll help with our tank. There we go. Get this guy up. Our capacitor should repair itself now too, since we're not running the neutralizer. That's what it is. You just gotta pay attention, right? Because like prioritize targets to just kind of take care of things off the field that's kind of doing more damage and stuff like that.
The capacitor is empty.
Get a little bit closer to this guy. A few more cycles and he'll be good. Then we can worry about... Actually, we're going to go and set orbit to this other guy, since that guy's almost dead. We're not going to worry about Microwarpdrive. We're still in range to get our Disintegrator on, so... We got to wait for our capacitor to kind of build up a little bit. We turn that armor repair back on. Then we got, what, a minute left on our assault damage control, so... Next wave could be a little interesting, so we'll just try, you know, keep it mindful of everything going on then. We'll probably have about 30 seconds or so by the time that next wave pops. But we're already completely healed up on armor, so we're doing pretty good. I'm going to zoom out so I can kind of see the next wave. Go and orbit those guys. And turn Microwarpdrive on for one cycle. We got about 30 seconds. I'm actually going to orbit this structure so I don't have to worry about this too much. I'm going to take out these cruisers first. Once we get into full orbit, we'll start taking less damage. Probably going to go ahead and assault damage control here. Just give us a little bit of a wiggle room. Let's switch to this next one. It's really kind of what it is. It's all about just taking down the things you can take down the quickest. Managing targets. A little bit of damage on this wave, but I think we'll be fine. Just keep working on these cruisers. We still have cap. We still have our armor repair running. Kind of just treading water right now until we get a few more targets down. We'll go and target one. Or I'm gonna orbit one of the guys that are closer in, so we don't have to worry about having a range issue. I'm also gonna go and turn on Microwarpdrive just to help us sig tank a little bit better. This last cruiser down, or one of the last cruisers down. We can start working on the battle cruisers. A little close to this guy. Turn the Microwarpdrive off. There we go. It's exciting sometimes, that's for sure. Go ahead and warp at this battle cruiser. We're going to have to approach him a little bit. Orbit, Microwarpdrive. Guess we take this one down since they're already on it. I'm gonna put a Disintegrator on this guy though, because we're still kind of out of range. I really wanted you guys to see kind of like what the Disintegrator does on the battleship at the end. Just to kind of show the damage potential of a fully ticked up Disintegrator on this thing. Ran out of range. These guys are like spread out really crazy like. Our assault damage control is ready to go again, but we're going to save it for next wave. Once we get to about 4:30 or so with this battle cruiser should go down. This is giving us time to get our armor back up too. Go ahead and microwarp drive up over this one guy here. You just don't ever run the microwarp drive more than one cycle. It's just not needed. I'm going to set orbit. Another thing we might do too is we might actually switch to Occult. We're killing them so fast right now that, you know, switching back and forth from Mystic to Occult is just kind of obnoxious. But for the battleship, we'll probably go Occult since we'll be already pretty close to him and have him on. We'll save him for last, essentially. Alright, this is the last wave right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to orbit the battleship, since that's our last target anyway. And then we're going to work on the battlecruisers first. So we'll go into Disintegrator on that. And get the drones on them as well. We'll get the microwarp drive started. And then cut the cycle on it. And one thing I want you guys to see when we're doing the battleship here at the end, just kind of watch the alpha. And we should be on the target long enough. Occult we might kill it before we actually hit over 1,000, but it'll keep going up. Alright, next is the battlecruiser out. We don't even need the damage control anymore, really. Once we get this battlecruiser down, I'm going to switch to Occult, and then we'll start working on him. He usually will target disrupt as well, so we might turn the sensor booster on. But it won't matter because he's the only target anyway. And I range a little bit on that guy. Go and approach him real quick. We got to close like 2K. We're on the back side of this orbit. Another thing you have to kind of keep in mind is making sure you don't run out of range with the Mystic. Battleship's moving away from us as well. Alright, we'll start orbit. We're going to switch Occult, which brings our range to 69. I'm actually going to approach this guy. I'm not even going to orbit, because we'll orbit past that. And that'll bring our alpha strike up, our base alpha strike up a lot better anyway. So we're at 524 right now, and we'll just kind of watch this number as we keep target on. Once he's through shield, we'll probably be over 1,000 once we get him to the shield, but it'll take him down really quick once it kind of ramps up all the way. He's trying to run, but it's not doing him any good. Yeah, so now it's really doing some damage to him. We're over 1,000 now. Shouldn't be too much longer. And that is it. Rally point done. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a really cool little ship. If you give it a try, let me know in the comments. But, yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.